Welcome, everyone, to Friday's Inspiration. I think we're still getting connected here. It's a rainy day here in Southern California, so nice to have all of you here live with me this week. And today, being that Valentine's Day is right around the corner, we are going to be talking about something related to love and getting together, and it's all about compatibility, the best way to determine compatibility. So, hey, Steph, good to have you here. And who else do we have? There's still people showing up. Great. So, we'll just take a minute here to get ready. So, as far as compatibility goes, there's a lot of ways you can determine compatibility. And one way that a lot of people try to decide if two people are compatible is through a lot of trial and error, right? Look at Liz Taylor, how many times you got married, and that was all just trying it out, trying it on and seeing how things work out. So one of the things that we're going to do today is I want to give you some ways and ideas on how you can determine if you and your partner, whether it's someone you're dating or someone you're even in a relationship with, how compatible are you? And so one of the things that I've been doing is let me back up a little bit. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kimberly Sherry. I'm an international energy expert, and I have been following Dr. David Hawkins for many, many years. He created a scale that measures human consciousness and awareness. And this has been a great scale that a lot of people are familiar with. They've been using for a long time. He is a pioneer in this field. And in 2012, I broke through his scale. So this is what gives me any credibility to know what I'm talking about here. After 20 years as an energy healer and working deep in the jungle with the Amazon Peruvian shamans, was able to break through the Hawkins Scale after about 25 ayahuasca journeys. And so this opening and expansion has allowed us to go to a whole nother level of everything, including love. So on the Hawkins Scale, for those of you who are familiar with it, Dr. Hawkins put love at the vibration of 500. And so when you compare that to this new scale, the infinity scale, that's part of this infinity system that I'm using and created, that this vibration of 500 is actually pretty low on this scale. So that would be like the kind of love, like I love chocolate. And there is so many greater levels and dimensions and aspects to love that go all the way to infinity. And so that's where you find those much greater, more inspiring kind of love that's blissful, that's unconditional. And so it's a whole nother level of love that we now have access to. And we may have known that we have access to infinite possibilities, but now we can measure where we are on the spectrum. And this is not about being better or better than. That's a judgment and actually comes from a lack mindset. So what we're doing today, for those of you who are familiar with me, know that I've been doing this calibration report for people. It's called the Vibrational Altitude Report. Well, I'll measure 40 different things without ever knowing anything about you, speaking to you, seeing a picture. I just tap into your energy field. And so that's what we do here on Tuesdays when I entertain your questions. Then this allows me to tap into your energy field and answer your questions and give you some specific energy work. But today we're talking about love and how to find if you're more compatible in a relationship. So what if you could know ahead of time, like say if you're dating, if you think alike? Having conversations is a really important part of having successful relationships. How do you relate in conversations? Can you have easy conversations? Well, that capacity can now be measured with that mind vibration. And wouldn't it be so much easier if you could find out sexual compatibility or the potential for that without having to jump in the sack and finding out and test driving, that you could find out because of the body chemistry actually has a specific vibration. And if those are not aligned in, or they're very, very far off, there's not going to be that meeting of those energetic bodies. And so that would also be really helpful to know ahead of time, right? And what if like when you're dating, people are on their best behavior, right? And they put their best foot forward. And maybe the men will lavish you with so that you would think that they're financially prosperous. What if you could take a look a little bit behind all of what being presented, and you could see, well, what if this person is actually really depressed when they're not meeting with you, or they're really struggling financially? That would those For me, I know that that would be really important to know ahead of time, so that you can. This is all about being. Uh, Information is knowledge is power, right? And so the more information you have, the better choices you can make. And so this is also very helpful. There's so what I've done. Let me step back here. So one of the things that I've done, we're going to be doing a clearing in a moment, so that we can step into more possibilities with love in our own life. Uh, but one of the things I wanted to let you know is that now we have this possibility of being able to know these things ahead of time. And things like, say, when you meet someone, we often bring people into our life that where we have unresolved past lives. I believe in past lives, and I work with them, I clear them. And so this is one of the things I measure in a new report that I've created. It's called the Compatibility Report. And so we're going in this report, I measure like mind, spirit, body, wealth, money, so that you can find out, do you think alike? Are you on a similar vibration with your moods, or is someone really depressed and someone is always in a high vibration, positive attitude? That can create a big conflict. And that body chemistry, the wealth container is going to tell, is there even a possibility for a relationship? A lot of times you'll be dating someone and they have no interest in committing to anything. So these things are really, really helpful. And then knowing how many unresolved past lives you might have with this person, so that you don't have to repeat history and to have to rework that out in this lifetime. And what if you could know whether or not this person is trying to silently manipulate you? This is what cords are all about, those energy cords where people cord to each other. Instead of using their words, people will often cord. So maybe they'll cord to your heart, and that makes you feel very guilty, or you feel like you feel bad if you don't maybe do something for them, or so there's a pulling on those guilt strings, right? And then maybe someone, this has been, men have had a bad reputation for this, that they just are interested in having sex with women. And if that's a prearrangement and that's what you want, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying that if that's not what you want, you would want to know ahead of time. If he's courting at all these different places, like in your second chakra, that's a place where men will often court if they just want to have sex with you. And so all of these ways that people can silently try to manipulate you, wouldn't you want to know that ahead of time? And a new thing that I've recently discovered, so this is above and beyond what I've outlined in my new book, Access Your Ultimate Power, the Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. So one of the new things that I'm measuring is how many spells or curses you might have. Now that's pretty fascinating. I've been recently adding this to the equation. And it's been pretty fascinating to see how this has worked out. In fact, I worked on a gentleman just the other day who um, broke up with a gal, but he just couldn't understand why he just kept getting pulled back in. He says, it's like I have a spell on me. And so I checked, and sure enough, he had 3 spells that we cleared. He also had some curses. So curses are a little bit different. You might feel like, you if someone puts a curse on you, even from a past life, it'll be like, you will never love again, or you will never be financially prosperous again, or those kinds of things. So those are super helpful to know ahead of time, and be able to clear all of these things out so that when you come to the table, you are emitting a clear frequency. And so you're going to attract what you're emitting, right? So if you're wondering, why do I keep attracting the same stuff over and over? There's something going on in here. And that this is what you're using as your magnet to call in the people or those that you want in your sphere of influence. So it's a fascinating thing that I never get tired of how this all works. But being able to know these things ahead of time can certainly help, so that you don't have to waste a lot of time, energy, resources, trying these relationships on, and then discovering down the road that there's just absolutely, you have absolutely nothing in common, and this person is completely not what you thought. And so this is not to say that there may not be things that you can or cannot live with, but you're going to have a much greater chance of being able to determine the best possible alignment and energetic frequencies that would be in your favor. So much better chance of being able to create a successful relationship that way. So I'm curious if any of you have some questions about that. Hey, Peter, nice having you here. Let's see who else is here. Denise, good to have you. And Gwen. And let's see who we have on Facebook. We have Asha, and some new people. Please. So this is what we're going to do today in our clearing. So people mentioning that they're single and they want to bring in that person into their life. And so this is what we're going to be doing today, is for the MediClearing, is we're going to be clearing those places in you where you don't feel loved, where you don't feel able to fully unconditionally love yourself. Because we've been fed a false narrative, and this is part of the amnesia program. We've been fed this false narrative that love is on the outside, that we have to go out and find someone to love us. And we won't feel complete until we find that person. And there's always this longing and searching. And so this is the lie that we've been fed, is that we have to go out and find love. When the reality is, love is available right here in our hearts, where we can self-generate love. And you might say, well, that's no fun. Well, what if you come to the table in your quest, or in your interest of being able to attract a partner, that you come to the table full. You come to the table not feeling that lack, like I really want a partner. Like you don't feel complete unless you have a partner. When you're coming from that lack mindset, that's what you're going to create more of: lack and need. And this person will never be able to fill that space in you, because it's not about the other person. It's about your own self-worth, and being able to come to a place where you are full, You are full, and there is no lack. And so when you come to a relationship like that and you attract someone into your sphere of influence and a potential partner, when both people are full and they come to unlimited possibility. So this is what this possibilities to find this love in here and finding those places where we block love. Like, this is a scary place for a lot of people to be, right? A lot of people, a lot of you are holding two very prominent fears as it relates to this. One is a fear of being unlovable, and the other is a fear of being loved. Now, those might sound and seem very similar, but they're very different. Someone who has a fear of being, you would never be able to be embraced because there's something about it. And if you dropped all the walls and let someone into your heart, it's like, oh, can you feel that fear that just like, and feeling loved. So those are the two most prominent fears that we hold in our heart that really prevent us allowing love in. It runs through the arm in the left, so it creates a circle. And I call this circle of reciprocity to give ourselves permission to allow love in. So if you haven't been receiving the kind of love that you want in your life, chances are this left receiving hand is blocked. So this again has nothing to do with the other people. It has to do with you being able to surrender and allow love in. But if you have all these fears and you're operating from the past, like those past hurts, and you're operating from history, it's going to be really hard to bring that love in and to fill yourself up as you nurture yourself. So we self-generate love here, we give that love out into the world, and then the love comes back. And so it becomes a circle. And it clears all of these energies, all of the rings above our head. This system is completely outlined in my book in great detail. And so that's really the best place. You can go on Amazon, access Your Ultimate Power, the Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. And so that outlines my whole system. So this circle of reciprocity is a crucial factor in you allowing love into your life. And so when we start taking accountability and responsibility for everything we create in our life, we're not going to blame other people. And once we know that this is a very strong possibility of why we've been pushing love away, then it's not about the other people. That then we can start allowing that love in. So you've maybe heard the phrase, give and take. You give and you take. And so that is a way to get some things, right? But it's a much different energy when you give and you allow yourself to receive. And I'll tell you the difference between the two. When you give and take, you're in control of both things. People who have had a very dysfunctional past and a past history, especially in childhood where we had no control, we become very controlling of our environment, right? And so we try to control everything. We can try to, that's the whole give and take thing. We know who we're taking from, when, how much. And so that's all in our control. When you give and receive, you don't know when the receiving is going to happen. You don't know from whom, how much, and that requires a great deal of vulnerability and allowing the surrender. And so that can be really scary for a lot of people because they can't control that, right? And so these are the paradigms that are starting to get cleared so that we can allow this new higher vibration of love that's way past the Hawkins scale, all the way up to infinity. Infinite possibilities are now available. So in this new infinity scale, it breaks through to infinity after it's reached about 250,000, and then it breaks through to infinity. So all of these things can be measured. How much of that hardworking, struggling martyr energy you have. What if you're someone who's totally in flow, but then you attract someone who's just a total martyr? They suffer with everything. Or you're in this high vibration of love and joy, but they're really angry, but they don't know it because they're not even in their body. All of those things can be measured. So before we do the clearing, which we're just about to do, I wanted to let you know that we have available now is this compatibility report, and hopefully Roma will be on. I don't see her on here yet. Be on shortly to be able to post that for you, and if not, she will be on shortly, and if not, we will. You can always find it in on my website, kimberlysherry.com. So that's one of the newest ones that's available. And so I'm offering this to you today. This is the first time this has come out. And so for $97, this is available to be able to check how compatible you are in these 5 areas: mind, spirit, body, wealth, money. And then those like 40 calibrations that I check for both of you. And then checking unresolved past lives. If you're courting to each other, do you have any spells and curses in your energy field? Super, super powerful report. And so that's available. I'll be starting to complete those on Monday. So I'm heading back up to the Bay Area today, and I will have more time for that starting Monday. So if you're interested, we'll get the link up for you, and you can go ahead and find out how compatible you and your partner are. So today, though, let's get started releasing all these places where you feel stuck and where you feel like you're just not quite loving yourself. Before I do that, I just want to check real quick to see if you have any questions. Yes, creating a better connection with your spouse. We all want that if you're in a relationship already. And so that's what we're going to be working on today. A fear of marriage and commitment, that's another great one. And people who have anger, yes. Yes, because anger is one of those kinds of things where most people just try to control it and manage it. That doesn't make it go away. And so what we're going to be doing today is we're actually going to find where this excess anger is in your energy field. Not taking anger away. It'll always be available if you ever need it. But too many people are using anger as a way to motivate themselves and get things done. It's not a sustainable use of energy. And it's really hard on the nervous system. And when you pass your words through those angry filters, things come out not the way you had intended, right? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do the process called running your energy. It's kind of a rinse and repeat thing. And so today, this process always starts with getting ultra grounded. So I want you to just close your eyes and just pay attention to my words, to my voice, and just follow along. And you're going to go ahead and just imagine this line of energy. Make it big, like a big pipe, so that you could drop a cantaloupe down this pipe. And you're going to attach this pipe from the base of your spine all the way to the center of the planet. And you're going to attach it very securely so that you can release all of the energies that are not yours that we're about to let go of here. And then you're going to send roots down from your feet, big fat roots, and they're going to go deep into the earth. And then they're going to go actually all the way to the other side of the planet and wrap around the entire planet. This is getting ultra grounded. And then from there, you're going to bring that earth energy up through those legs, clearing all of that accumulated adrenaline in those calves, clearing that power center in the upper part of your thighs. We're just going to clear this layer, this channel through your legs. Great. And then the third part to getting ultra grounded is to pull in what I call the worry circle. It's a circle of energy that radiates out around your root chakra like a big hula hoop. And today it's congested all the way out to the 15th layer of your aura. This is where that 1% oppressive influence that we feel on the planet, this is where they live in your energy field, if you let them. So it's way out of your awareness. So we're going to pull this circle in, and we're just going to pull in this influence, and we're going to pull their energy up through your central core so we can send their energy off planet where they belong. They don't belong on this planet anymore. Okay, great. So we're just going to pull that energy up through that central core, letting that come out of that sixth and seventh, those beliefs that are not yours, and that lack of permission in your crown. And then we're just going to send that off planet. Okay, great. So now you're ultra grounded. Next, we're going to connect with pure source energy, no matter what your spiritual beliefs are or religious beliefs. We're going to connect with that energy that binds entire universes together in an orderly fashion. And we're going to start bringing that energy down through the creative rings above your head. There's anywhere between 3 and 50 rings. So we're going to start bringing pure source down through these rings and recalibrating all of the dreams and desires you have about love and relationships and more intimacy in your connections. All of those intentions, we're bringing pure source down through these intentions that are in your rings so that pure source can allow these to happen in your highest and best interests. Excellent. I just remembered another amazing thing that I'm measuring in these reports is we come together often in relationships because we have something to learn from that other person. So I believe that relationships are like that mirror to show you places that long for more healing, for more acceptance, for more nurturing, for more lessons. And there is a way to measure how much learning each person has left in the relationship. And so if there's a big disparity between those two numbers, the relationship starts to lose interest because someone has a ton of learning, maybe 95, 100% learning, and maybe the other person only has 5, 10, 15% left to learn. And so that disparity creates a lot of imbalance in the relationship. So that would be another good thing to know. So as we bring pure source down through this crown, so it's stopping right at the crown, out to that third layer. This is where you want to give yourself permission to allow love into your life, to allow a relationship, if that's what we're talking about here, being that Valentine's Day is just around the corner. So this is on people's minds, relationships, love. How is yours doing? Great. So we're just going to pull in that permission circle. Great. Then as we bring pure source down through your crown, into that 6th chakra, down into your throat, where it's stopping. So the throat gets really stuck in relationships, right? It feels hard to speak up, speak your truth, say what's on your mind. And so we're going to clear out to that third layer where maybe it doesn't feel like you have a voice in your relationship, or that maybe you're in a new relationship and you're afraid to say what's really on in your heart. So we're just moving all that fear out of the throat. So that, and all the anger, there's some anger here too. So when there's a lot of anger here in the throat, then when you have conversations, it's going to pass through all that anger, and it might not come out the way you intended it. Okay, good. So we're just going to drop all that anger down through that central core. Excellent. Whew. As we bring pure source down through the throat, down into the heart. So this is, it's stopping at the heart, and there's some congestion here that goes out to that third layer. So this is an energy that has you in this constant loop of feeling like you have to prove that you're lovable enough, that you're worthy of someone's partnership. And this energy in particular, though, it's coming from a lack mindset, that not enough energy. Remember, I was talking about that fear before, of that fear of being unlovable and that fear of being loved. That's these two energies right here. So we're just dropping those fears down the grounding cord. It doesn't serve you, right? It keeps pushing love away because of fear will stop. Fear's like a big stop sign. We see how well the fear virus on the planet is working. Great, so we're just going to drop all of that fear down the grounding. Yes, take a deep breath and just let all of that go. As we bring pure source down through the heart and the solar plexus, where it's stopping again. Out to that third layer, so this is like a big stop sign, another big stop sign, that stops you from doing or taking inspired action because of more fear. So we're going to drop this down the grounding cord. This feels like it has a lot of old history in it. Like when you start to step into a new relationship, it bumps up against the old relationship that you're still holding here as a reminder. You're never going to let that happen again, right? Well, that's old history. And so as long as you're keeping old history here, that's what you're going to keep attracting. It's kind of like an oxymoron, right? You'd think it would be the other way around, but that's not how energy works. So we're just going to pull this energy in to the core of that solar plexus. Yeah, all that fear, we're just going to drop it down the grounding cord, because that stops you from finding love, attracting love. And just a second, shut the door here. All right. So now as we go back to bringing pure source down through the heart, down through the solar plexus, down through the second chakra where it's stopping. So right in that lower belly, a lot of anger. So maybe you're angry at some of these past relationships, these past people that felt like they hurt you. Maybe that first love in your life, that first man in your life that should have been there to love you. Maybe he wasn't. Talking about your father. So that's all history, right? And that's connected to all this anger that you're holding in the lower belly. It makes you feel powerless on one hand, and on the other hand, you're using this anger as a way to motivate you and to get things done. But that's all old stuff. It's an old way of operating that doesn't work. So you're here to try and find new ways of doing things, right? You can keep trying the way you've always done it, which is not working, or you can try something new, which is what we're doing. So we drop all that anger down the grounding. As we bring pure source all the way down through, let it spill down that grounding cord. Breathe into that powerful vertical alignment where you're connected way up high to pure source and rooted deeply into our Mother Earth. Very powerful alignment. Okay, great. So now we're going to mix these two energies, that earth energy coming up your legs with pure source coming down the backside. Where that meets at the root, I'm going to mix it together. And we're going to bring a 50-50 mixture up the front, real close to the spine. So it's coming up into that second chakra, into the solar plexus, where it's stopping. In this case, the congestion is going all the way out to the 15th layer of your aura. And as you recall, this is where that 1% energy lives in your energy field. The 1% does not want or like heart energy, love energy. It is kryptonite to the 1%. So we're going to go out to the 15th layer out in front of your solar plexus. We're going to pull their influence in that is stopping you. Stop it. Look at what it's done all over the planet. It's stopping people from connecting, making everybody be 6 feet apart. And no, you can't see people's smiles anymore. And so this is the oppressive influence on the planet that doesn't want love. So there's a lot of things we're going to see, especially over this next year. One, I believe we're going to feel and see this amplification of love for those who are more conscious and more aware. And we're also going to be seeing on the other side of the spectrum a lot more death on the planet, unfortunately. So that is part of the polarity that we're still in, that we're releasing from. So we're bringing this pure source energy up through the second chakra and the solar plexus. Bring this 50-50 mixture up into the heart where it's stopping. It's going out to that third layer. This is that proving your worth and value. So this is a hamster wheel. You're already enough. You're already lovable. So you're trying to prove something that's already true. And that's why you just go round and round and round and round. So we're just dropping all those ways you make yourself wrong, all the ways you judge yourself. You should be doing more of this, less of that, just so you're not measuring up. Those self-judgments are not your judgments. We're just going to drop that all down the grounding cord. Great. Let's continue to bring this 50-50 mixture up through the heart. Great job. Up through the throat and that 6th chakra and the crown and the rings. And it's going to cascade down through all the layers of your aura. And then when it gets below your feet, it's like you're sitting in the middle of a big cocoon. And this energy is just seeping down like paint being poured over a balloon. And when it gets at the bottom, it merges with your grounding cord. So your aura has a place to release all of this energy that's not yours. We're going to pay special attention to the 3rd layer of your aura. Just pretend or imagine that you know where that is. There's a lot of energy up around the head where you're trying to figure out how to do this, maybe even how to do what I'm talking about here. You're trying to figure out how to get more love in your life. And this is less of a how thing, and it's more of a being thing. How are you being in your energy field? What is your state of resonance? What is the frequency that you're emitting? That's what we're changing here. So we're taking all that effort and doing out of your head. We're just letting all that energy seep down through this layer as it merges with your grounding cord, releasing all that energy, making this process of magnetizing your ideal partner into your life a lot easier. Then we're going to jump out to the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom. And we're going to lift this 1% influence out of this layer in the 15th layer of your aura. Great, so there's a lot of energy right around the heart. So remember, they don't like that heart energy. Great, so we're just going to lift all of that influence up and out, and we're going to pull it up and out through that central core, sending it off planet. Great, the rest of the aura is clear. And so as a spirit, what we're attempting to do is have such an expanded energy field that we get all the way out to the 40th layer of our energy field. And it's clear all the way in here, out here. The 40th layer is where oneness exists. This is where, when we're connected to this 40th layer, there's no more divisions. There's no more polarities. There's oneness. And it's not the kind of oneness where we're all just like automaton cookie cutters. No. We all bring our unique gifts to this layer of oneness. And it's like facets of a diamond that all have their own specific spark and contribution of love, and in this field where infinite love and unconditional love is possible. Earlier, critical to be able to allow the receiving, allowing love into your life. So we're going to start at the heart, and I want you to bring that energy out your right arm, and then you're going to put your hands together like this. So you can allow that energy to flow out the palms and through the fingertips. So that energy can come through. So maybe you have enough awareness to feel that it's blocked at this level, like the energy is not coming in this hand. But we're just going to gently pull the receiving into your left hand, up your left arm, so that you can start receiving everything that you intend, and rings above your head. Clearing all the fear of receiving, that fear of being vulnerable. Great. So as it comes through the left shoulder, it's going to come down through the back of that sixth, through all of those rings, all of those intentions. What's important now is to determine, do you still have any fear in your energy field? So it's right here where you hold some gifts, goes out to the third layer. So we're going to pull that in. Helpless, maybe about what you see going on the planet, or you feel powerless about attracting love into your life because you've tried it for so long, it doesn't happen. It's just a feel good thing. We're literally changing vibration. So we're going to remeasure hula hoop from the third layer and just dump that fear down your grounding. So now fear is at 0, also at 15%. So let's find where that is in your energy field, because that's not a very attractive energy, is it? It's not fun to be around. Yes, anger has its place, but the less that we have of it always running in the background, the better. 7. So again, right here in the 6th chakra, so some beliefs going out to that third layer. So the belief is that you need anger to feel powerful. So that's a lie. You need your power to feel powerful. And there's been this shift in our thinking. It's along with all these other things, the amnesia program, etc. There's been this shift in thinking. It's that when you're angry, that's when you're in your greatest power. So that is a complete, absolute lie. So we're going to pull that lie out of your 6th chakra. I'm going to pull it into the core. And we're just going to drop it down the grounding. Because the truth is that your power lives in your solar plexus. Not when it's full of anger, though. Okay, so let's see how much. 7, 6, 5. There's another place where you're holding some anger, and it's right in your heart. So that's that place where you kind of beat yourself up. You make yourself wrong. And that's how you're trying to motivate yourself, but that doesn't work. So we're going to go out to the third layer. We're going to pull all of this anger where you're making yourself wrong, thinking you should be doing more or better or different. Okay, great. 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, so now anger is at 0. So one of the things I want you to notice is, if you've been following along with this, especially since we've been doing this clearing, is how much calmer you feel. And this is not just because I have a calm, soothing voice. This has to do with removing all of the energies that are making you feel not at ease, that are causing this dis-ease, no ease in your body. So a couple other things we're going to check is the heart, right? So we want to be able to attract a compatible partner from an open heart space. But if we've had a lot of hurts and we've had a lot of pain in our life, it's going to be hard to open this space here. So right now, it's only open 50%. And so if you've always operated from this 50%, you might not notice much of a difference. Like, well, I have an open heart. I feel pretty, loving. Well, we're going to open it all the way. Because even at 50%, you're going to be hard on yourself. You're going to always be that little critical, naggy little voice in the background, making you feel like you just didn't do enough. You're always judging yourself. And you'll also be critical of other people. So we want to open the heart all the way. So we're going to do two things here. Okay, so right now you might notice where you are in this equation of, if I were to say, where are you right now? That part of you that knows, that part of you that's aware. Most people tend to be up here. But we're going to bring this energy down. So right now it comes down to about here and then it stops. So we're going to head all the way down to the heart, but it's hard for you to do that because of all this stuff that's right here. So we're going to start eliminating this energy. Okay, so we're going to go all the way out to the 25th layer, front and back of your heart. I just do it sideways. It's easier for me to work this way. And we're going to bring in all the fears. So the 25th layer is where fear entities hang out. This is what keeps our hearts in that state of not wanting to open all the way. So we're going to start pulling in these fears. We're going to send them up because this is another energy that needs to go off the planet now. So as we're pulling all these fears, that fear of being unlovable, fear of being loved, fear of surrender, fear of being vulnerable, fear of being controlled. That's a big one. And we're just pulling all of these energies up through the central core, sending it all off planet. Fear of not being enough or not doing enough. We're just sending all of that energy up, 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 up. Great job. So it's one thing to talk about strategies and ways to find that love partner and things to do and things to say. But the reality is, if your frequency is not emitting what you want to attract, all the strategies in the world will never change what you attract. So right now we're literally changing the vibrational frequency that you operate at. Okay, great. You might notice a difference now. Let's see how open that heart is. So now the heart's open 100%. Can you feel that difference? And as you come down from your head down into the heart, see, now you're in your heart. This is where we should be operating out into the world, whether we're looking for love or not. Whether we're looking for love, it should be here. This is where we should be looking for love, is right here. And then it's going to automatically attract what you desire in your life. It's kind of fascinating how this whole thing works. So if you enjoy doing these sort of these clearings that I do here every week, we're going to be starting a new round of daily MediClearings. I do this with a group of people, and we do it for a month. We just finished the last one. So the next one is going to be starting on March 4th, because it's time to march 4th into spring. And the theme of this next one is going to be called Launch Your Rocket of Desire. So it'll be carrying us through the spring equinox and getting you prepared and ready for whatever it is that you're ready to launch in spring. Then it can be much cleaner, more grounded, clearer intention, so that you can send a clearer frequency out to create and attract what you're going to manifest. And so we'll be starting that on March 4th. Pay attention. That's just sort of a heads up of what's coming to out in the future. Not quite ready to post that yet, but that's down the pike. However, today, if you're interested in finding out your compatibility numbers with your partner, so that's the mind, spirit, body, wealth, money, vibrations, then all of those other calibrations, martyr, victim, shame, anger. Are you according to each other? How many unresolved past lives do you have with your partner? Are there curses and spells? It's such a profound and full report that for $97 is a massive value. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. I'll be starting to work on these on Monday once I'm back into the Bay Area. But I hope you found this useful, and if you did, please share this with your friends and those you care about, and family. Like, subscribe, and do all those things that are helpful. And let's see if you guys have any other questions about what we did today, about thanks, about what we did today, and if you have any questions, we can answer. So nothing specific about you personally. We'll be answering that that on Tuesday, your specific questions. So Roma has posted the Vibrational Compatibility Report. So if you're interested in that, be sure to sign up. March 4th. Yes, we will be marching 4th. It's a great, my daughter has that as an anniversary date of when she stopped smoking many years ago. And so that's a constant reminder for her every year of how she marched 4th. So that was, it's very powerful. Yeah, we did lose the connection for a minute, but we came back. So, well, great. No questions. Do you offer training in this modality? I have in the past, and I will in the future. So I have done a mentoring program. That will be something that would be out in the future. In the meantime, however, I suggest you go on Amazon and get my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. Outlines this whole infinity system that I created after working as a healer for more than 20 years, working extensively with the plant medicine ayahuasca. And so this whole system that's been given to me was how I healed myself from lots of things. And I've been working as an energy healer for a long time, using it on lots of people, creating amazing results. And so this whole system is outlined in the book, and you can read all about it there. It would be a great weekend read, wouldn't it? It's raining down here, so it'd be a nice book to kind of cozy up with and read over the weekend. It's a fast read. It is the basic foundation of what I do and what I teach. And the Spirit wanted me to get the basics out so that we can keep building on it. And so, as you have seen, measuring for curses and spells is another new thing. Measuring how much learning we have left from each other in our partnership. That's a new thing. So we're constantly bringing new things forward. So stay tuned, share this with your friends, and I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll be up in Northern California and coming from there then. So have a blessed weekend, and I hope you have a lovely Valentine's Day. And even if it's just you loving yourself, nurturing yourself, and caring for yourself. All right, sending much love. I'll see you Tuesday. Namaste. Whoops.